I work, Charlie. This is where I need things that inspire me. I got the bookcase. I got all the normal stuff, but this is where I work. Oh. I'm not like Jordan. I don't have this nice brick wall and the lights and my microphone is hidden. But hey, this is where I get stuff done.
Yeah, but he's from Brooklyn. He's allowed to have that hipster look. You, let's go back to that picture. Sorry, folks, we're going to banter for a moment because I'm wondering why we're not getting the respect from our own people that she's giving Yul Perkins. Here she is last night on Fox 2. Let me see it. Look at this. Look at the throw. Look, what are those blinds made out of back there? Ooh. Oak?
They're wood.
Wooden?
They're custom. They're wood.
Custom.
Yeah.
Look at the chaise lounge.
Look at the more fresh cut flowers.
Fresh tulips back there.
Great. Yeah.
Look at the stone hearth.
Behind me. I have fresh flowers every week. Yes, I do. Right
look
here.
Look at the dress.
Right under my picture of Nipsey. They're right here.
Could you put the picture back up? Start taking it off, please. What kind of dress is that, Karen? What's the style and who made this designer dress?
It is a Tahari sweater. That's it. Basic sweater over my stretch pants.
That's kind of hot.
How much time did you take? Whoa, now look at that shot. That's Charlie back at his house.
And there's
Charlie.
Very washed out in yellow.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
But everything in Charlie's office is like just meticulously placed. The pictures are spaced. It is like almost like a psycho, but it's really nice. It's perfect.
And that's how it's always looked. You don't see any Emmy Awards. I didn't put anything in the way to make myself look cool. You don't see me with a chaise lounge in the background. Nobody gets to see my house. That's just too weird. This whole COVID thing got to end. All right, look, because we're all getting sick of it. So listen, today, here's what New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is getting his ass beat on the front page of every New York newspaper this week because he concealed the true depths of the nursing home horrors in the Empire State. And he's so rattled at the negative coverage, y'all remember, he's America's governor, that he's now threatening to destroy Democratic state lawmakers who are telling the truth. Here's the point. Governor Whitmer of Michigan, as you know, echoed Cuomo's entire COVID handbook, even doubling down on it. When he got rid of it, she doubled down on it. We're still allowing red-hot COVID people into the nursing homes and other long-term facilities. So, what's going on? Where is it? What's happening with Cuomo? Right?
Yep.
Where's our boot-licking press corps? And so Cuomo just called one of his virtual press conferences. We were going to have Jesse McKinley, the New York Times bureau chief in Albany, on to sort of discuss it and compare. Maybe we'll just call up. He's at a virtual conference, so we'll virtually interrupt the virtual conference. See, just get a quick.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, dial it up. Wait a minute, give me a second. And also, with us, the cool hipster-looking dude in the bottom. This Jordan Chariton, the founder of Status Coup, friend of the show. He's been on. He's this hipster here. He's not. He's just a good soul, but you deserve it with the fucking testicles hanging behind you. Look at that. Look at that. You look like you're in Karen's bathroom. What's going on?
Karen has testicles in her bathroom.
This is the brand new studio, and I will tell you, it's fake brick, Karen.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
It's sort of like the Flint legal case. It's fake and falling apart.
A facade.
It's a facade. So he's going to be joining us because there is a nexus here, which is Dana Nessel, right? Because Cuomo got called out. It all started when the Attorney General, a Democrat of New York, decided to look out for the people and not the political party and exposed the fact that they tanked the count by 50%. And then it was exposed one of his right-hand people, one of his chief advisors, called all the Democrats on a conference call and apologized for tanking the numbers because they didn't want Trump using it as a football. They, quote, froze.
When does that happen here?
Which part?
Just the Attorney General here, maybe looking into it.
I think Jordan, he's been living this. From Brooklyn, no less. He's the only guy doing Flint stuff. I tried to. But he's really in there. So we'll look at that. We got comedian Detroit Red. He's going to do a set from us live from the serial killer house that never seems to go away. The serial killer did this 2 years ago, and it's still there. That's the crime.
Unreal.
So, Red will join us from Mac and Mount Elliott. And if we got a little time, we'll toss in a little bit of the news, okay? But first, please, give your time, give your attention, spend your money, take a trip to American Coney Island, which Esquire calls one of the 100 most important restaurants in America because it's who we are. And by the way, I want to thank you. Business is picking up.
Good.
People are going. The Coney kits at What is it? AmericanConey.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you look at
See, now you asked that question, and I'm double checking myself.
I don't. Anyway, look at just type it in. Get the Coney kit.
Google it.
Right now, they're open downtown Michigan and Lafayette, starting at 10 a.m. Thursdays are open till 9, Friday and Saturday till midnight, Sunday 12 to 5. Support, support, support. Share, share, share. Great friends of this show. And as always, ADR. It's pretty simple. ADR consultants are the ones who you call when you need to get something done on time, on budget, and done right. If you're an investor and can't get straight answers about where your assets or property are registered, how do you get them repaired, you call ADR. They do asset management. You have issues with city zoning? ADR. Are you trying to get something remodeled, need permits, variances, and you can't navigate City Hall? Save time.
Who do I call?
And money. You call ADR. Construction, deconstruction, demolition, rehabilitation, project management, owner representative services, technology deployments. Think of all that. They do everything. Get it done the way it should be done and without excuses. Ethical, honest, smart, and discreet. Call Barry Ellentuck for free consultation, 248-318-9424. It's on our website. You're going to need it at some point. Mention the NBN and tell him you need him to fix your shit.
Yeah.
Right on.
Beautiful.
All right, listen. So what are you making of this Cuomo shit, Karen?
Charlie, as we kind of touched on a little bit last night, people have to understand that politics is pretty much all about the politician. And I'm saying that because the art of public service has all but been lost. And so from a strategy standpoint, information is packaged, it's presented, and at some point it becomes performative, all to the benefit of the elected official. Everybody's thinking about their next campaign. Everybody's thinking about, their sound bites, and it's to the disadvantage of the people that are looking to them for solutions and for answers and for leadership.
Okay. So what do you mean?
I mean that the information that you get isn't always accurate, and it's presented to you for the purpose of making the person presenting the information look good.
Okay, so like, what are you saying?
I'm saying that the information that is presented to voters, to the community, to the public, is not always what's going on.
So, what do you mean? I mean, I hear you.
I mean, we have no idea what's really going on.
They lied.
That's it. We're lied to. We're misled, and if not necessarily intentionally, we are done so from an abstract perspective, just from not being told the truth.
They're fucking lying.
That's it.
For those that don't know, explain exactly what Cuomo did.
Okay, here's what we go. Cuomo was the first guy who issued a directive. It goes like this. Because the hospitals are going to overflow, right?
Yes.
With COVID people. What are we going to do with them? We're going to put them on that boat we sent to New York City? Are they going to put them in the Javits Center? Or are we going to write an executive order that says, even if these old people are still radioactive, right? They haven't tested negative, they go back to the nursing home, right? Mm-hmm. With the caveat, if you can isolate them. Problem with that is nobody turned down the money from the state, just like in Michigan, saying they couldn't isolate them. Not one person, right?
Yeah.
So what they did was they took them in, said they could isolate them. They weren't isolating them.
No oversight of that.
Right? You read the report.
No proof of it.
You read the report. They are commingled. There's plastic sheets stuck up. There's no personal protection equipment. They're wearing raincoats, right? Mm-hmm. They're not testing anybody. They're shuffling around, and this thing takes off like wildfire. people start to die. People get sick. We all start to figure out all these people in the hospital from the old folks home. So in March, he decreed that you do that.
Yeah.
In May, he said, okay, stop. They can't go back until they test negative, right? The attendants in the nursing homes had to be tested twice a week. So he stopped doing it.
Makes sense.
Okay. People died, but they weren't counting them properly. Like if you get the infection at the nursing home, that's where your death is counted. We want to know how many people caught this in the nursing home.
Or they got it. Yeah, that's what matters.
So they started manipulating the numbers and they shipped them to the hospital. They died at the hospital. And so they weren't counted.
And this is solely, and he kept it hidden solely because he didn't want it used against him, because he was he was on the attack with the federal government and Trump and their handling of it, and he didn't want it to come back on them. What is amazing is that there were other representatives from New York that are trying to ring the bell, and he threatened them.
Yeah,
he straight out threatened them.
Like I used to cover Queens. It was a state legislator from
Can't think
Queens.
of his name, but yeah.
From Flushing, I believe, and either his father or his grandfather died in a nursing home. And when Cuomo's right-hand woman, just a week or two ago, has a conference call apologizing that they kind of had to tank the numbers because it became a political football. Well, a lot of Democrats, because they're good public servants, I don't care what letter you got in front of your name, if you're a good public servant, hit the roof.
Yeah.
Because in the end, folks, here's what it means. We know where people are drowning. The Coast Guard knows when a ship's going down. They go to the ship. They don't patrol the shipping lanes. All hands on deck, save the ship. When you tank the numbers of the long-term care facilities, you diminish the problem. We now know most likely over 50% of all the deaths occurred in these facilities. When you're saying it's only 20%, well, we didn't do what we needed to do. We destroyed our kids' well-being, cost them a year of learning. Your restaurant is closed. Your business is closed. You're behind on the rent. You can't make the mortgage because we all willingly did this. And now it comes out you were fucking lying.
Did they, along the lines, because we've seen it here in Michigan with the vital records review, and they would update deaths. Did New York ever do that to your knowledge?
What, do the vital record?
They've been doing that every week.
I always go like this. I know what I know.
Yeah.
And I try not to report,
Gotcha.
in
Okay.
other jurisdictions, unless I'm like Jordan, unless I'm involved with it. So I do know politically what's going on in New York. I know the regulations. I know the dates. I know the Attorney General's report. But I don't know the specificity of the vital records.
Gotcha.
So let's go to Michigan for a minute.
Yes.
Well, Charlie, can I just mention something?
Go on, Jordan.
So one
huge.
other piece of this that I think might have some criminal liability, while he was sending these older people back to the nursing homes, in the New York State budget, he snuck in blanket liability to the CEOs of the nursing homes.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Wait a minute. So let's back up. I forgot something. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn, correct?
Yeah.
Have now opened a criminal investigation. False statements, manipulation of federal money. I don't know where they're going to go, but it's a big deal. And again, it's universally Democratic in New York. Here, we're getting a pile of shit. So what Jordan said is correct. Before Cuomo issued the executive order that you must take them back,
Yeah.
first, they got a piece of legislation through that gave blanket amnesty, liability amnesty to nursing home corporations. These are for-profit corporations. In Michigan, we copied all of it. We gave Whitmer, before she issued any order of any substance about the nursing homes, it was Executive Order 2020-30.
Wow.
Executive Order 2020-50 is the one that says, take them back. So there's 20 executive orders in between that. This was a hustle.
Wow.
Now, Charlie, there was also the amnesty executive order that, provided protection for these facilities as well. So it eliminated their liability.
And it should be noted that when the Supreme Court struck down her executive orders, the legislature did pass legislation, and she signed it, giving healthcare providers, which include the nursing homes, almost universal blanket liability. It's got to be gross negligence, meaning you meant to do it.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You're out there. Listen, folks, we got to get together. We got to be together. Forget the political parties. I like her. My sister-in-law goes, I know Cuomo lied, but I like him.
Yeah.
And I love her, and she's really smart, but I'm disappointed. Hold him to account. In Michigan, we didn't even keep track of cases of COVID in the nursing homes until June. We didn't keep track of deaths until July. We didn't keep track of deaths in the other facilities, the home for the aged and the adult foster care, which is at least half where the old people live, until December. So here's what's going on. We now, every other day, we get a death count. Mm-hmm. Record deaths. Yesterday, there were 85 deaths reported. 72 of these were vital record searches. What that means is these people are already dead. We're counting dead people that died some time ago, and we don't know where. We don't know their age. We don't know their race. We don't know the date of their death or if it was a nursing home or not. They're just backfilling numbers. So here's what I did. I'm already on this. You know it. Freedom of Information Act. Governor, your Department of Health and Human Services, you're in violation of the law. Under the Freedom of Information Act, yesterday, end of business, I was to have all of the deaths that you listed in December.
Oh, I'm sure they provided it.
I'm already on it. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing.
Did they provide it?
No. And there'll be a lawsuit. It better come. I know you all listen. That's why, Karen, before we go any further, we did the blanket journalism. We reached out to whom this week?
We reached out to Mayor Duggan's office. We reached out to
Did we get a response? Did we get a response? Did we get a response? Oh, no response.
No response from Duggan's office. We reached out to Jocelyn Benson's office, Secretary of State. No response. I did reach out to the governor's office and received that she's not going to be. It was a nice way of saying she's not ever going to be available for you, Charlie. I sent it to you, but they said she's not going to be available in the upcoming. They might as well said years. And
wait, let's time out there. Not me, not you, us, and all of you out there.
That's right, but but let me finish this one. And then Nestle's folks responded, but pretty much said the same thing. But they did provide information that attempted to justify their reason for not making her available during this time on the issue of Flint. But let me say this: as an elected official, as a public servant, you owe it to the community and the people that you represent to be accessible. Whether you're taking a hit or whether you're taking a pat on the back, you owe it to people to be accessible and answer questions. Now, having been on the other side, I can tell you right now, they do not want to answer the questions that they know that you will pose to them, Charlie, for which they do not want to provide answers.
That's because, folks, this is, look, it's next week's news today. We've been telling you, I told you all, we're all a community on this. I told you in May that Whitmer was going to get nailed for this, that it was going to be her legacy and the biggest disgrace of her administration. And here it comes, as she's hiding. And everybody, look, all of you out there in the press doing the softball. It's not good. I do get notes from people, call me a jackass, but you don't really think I'm a jackass. You're like, she followed CDC guidance. I respect you for asking the question. Read the New York Attorney General's report. Same thing Cuomo said. The Attorney General, independent voice, said that's nonsense. You didn't. And there's a whole appendix. Whitmer didn't either. What the CDC said was, one, separate staff if you're going to handle COVID patients. Right?
Yeah.
Two, you got to have personal protection equipment so you don't cross-contaminate. So the lunch lady at school doesn't go to each classroom and carry it around. 2 different milk ladies, right, with gloves and masks on. We didn't have that. We picked the worst nursing homes to do this in. We incentivized it with money. If you do take them, I'll give you $5,000 a bed and $200 a day. That's what we did. CDC said, test your staff. We didn't begin testing our staff in this state until July. It was over. The big one. She never put that in an executive order. Remember the weasel from the guy that ran Health and Human Services that snuck out of town?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A week before this report from New York lands? You got to be outraged. They did not follow protocol, folks. You've heard it on this program.
It really seems that, we have this three-headed hydra here in the state, the governor, the attorney general, and the secretary of state, right? They appear to be very, very tight. I don't know what the makeup is in New York State. I know the attorney general's Democrat, obviously Cuomo is, and she did the right thing and looked into this. Do you ever feel like that would happen here in this state?
Well, here's what we're going to do. And I want to call Jesse before I get into Jordan. This is going to give you a window. Going to give you a window into how this works. This state, this party. Again, hey, Jordan, you know me pretty well. Do I got any love for what the Snyder administration did?
No.
Am I working my ass off to bring them to justice?
Absolutely. We talk about it all the time.
Shit, man. Bush and the invasion of Iraq was criminal. Like, I don't give it. Do us right. Look at Texas.
She has the power. The attorney general, Nessel, she has the power to really make it right.
Of course. Look,
by the way, Charlie, I see Governor Whitmer, Attorney General Nessel, and Secretary of State Benson. They seem not to have time to be available for you, but I see them all the time on CNN
On national.
for softball interviews, as leaders of the resistance against Trump. So I think it's interesting that they won't speak with real journalists, but they will go on CNN to raise their national profile.
Word them up. And again, people I respect, and there are some real fucking reporters around. Joel Kurth from Bridge, right? And his crew. Paul Egan at the Free Press. Yeah. They've never gotten to have a serious sit-down discussion. It's not personal. It's you're being played out there. Look, you can be upset and still vote for the person, but do me a favor. Hold them accountable, because I'm involved too. I'm giving you the real facts. Remember this. The legislature, when they got their power back, passed a bunch of legislation, including, hey, COVID-only buildings. Yeah. To put, not wings, not plastic sheets. Doesn't work. We know that now. She vetoed it and said there's no evidence that the plastic sheet bit is any worse or better than a separate building.
It's intuitive, though.
Well, of course there's no data because I purposely didn't collect it.
Well, let's not let this be lost either, is that nursing homes have been probably one of the most, unoversighted entities. Even before COVID,
sure.
We've had so many people talk about, their seniors and the conditions that they live in. So to me, those places were just petri dishes for this, just waiting for it to happen. So to be able to come in and demand a level of oversight on top of no oversight at all, they weren't looking at them anyway. They were just tossing our old people in the corner and wishing them well.
Our old people. Mm-hmm. And by the way, look, our old people, it's by human beings. We all have them. We've lost them. It's a crime. Do yourself this favor. This will lead you to ProPublica, nursing home reports, etc. Just Google worst nursing home systems by state in America. They're graded. Michigan's number 3.
Third worst.
Yeah, it's like New Mexico, Alaska, and us.
It's awful.
Come the fuck on.
It's awful.
You knew what was going on. I want an investigation. Right?
Yeah, well, they need to do it.
And
That's
don't forget,
my fear.
When Cuomo got rid of this thing, May 10th, right? You got to be negative to go back in. Whitmer doubled down on it and still let him in. And we're one of just a handful of states, couple 3 or 4, that still allow this shit.
Unreal.
Unreal.
It's okay to make a mistake if you can correct it.
Now, let's see if there's a tipping point with Cuomo here, because look, we need New York to help us. We need somebody on Fox or CNN to say, hey, what about Michigan? Call Jesse. Go ahead, dial him up. Let me hear it. Can we hear the beep, beep, beep? Audio's always good.
Albany's in the middle of a question.
Hello.
Hey, dude, what are you doing? It's LeDuff.
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
This is everybody listening. This is Jesse McKinley, Bureau Chief, New York Times, Albany Bureau. Are you in a virtual press conference right now?
I am in I'm in hour 2 of a virtual press conference right now.
Hour 2?
Almost hour 2. We're at the 50-minute mark.
I thought he was cutting because he's in a bucket of hot water, dude. What's going on? Is he going down?
Right now, the health commissioner is giving his explanation as to the same March 25th memo regarding the asking nursing homes to take back positive COVID-19 positive patients. So we're getting our second explanation of the day as to this policy. So,
okay, look, dude, how big a trouble is he in?
Cuomo?
Yeah.
I would characterize this as probably the worst controversy he's had, certainly during his third term, if not during his entire 10 years in Albany. It's a pretty big mess for him right now, and this is the third time this week he's been trying to clean it up. So, and we'll see if it does the trick. I mean, I guess the third time might be the charm.
Do you think, do you take the federal investigation seriously, or is this like window dressing?
I think it's tough to know at this point. We're early, I think it's only been probably a week or perhaps 2. So I think they're in the very early stages of this, but you never know. I mean, federal investigations can drag on for a long time. The prosecutors don't have a deadline. They don't have a clock ticking over their heads. So this could be something that dogs him for a while.
I know you have to maintain objectivity, but you're a really smart man. It's true, isn't it? You just line it up what his advisor said. You line up what the attorney general put together, and it's true. They were hiding bodies.
Well, it's not a question of hiding bodies, but it's indisputable that they were understating officially how many people who had been living in nursing homes died. That's an indisputable fact. He's admitted to that. In the last 2 weeks, basically the official count in the state of New York has gone from about 8,500 to about 15,000. So it's almost doubled at this point. So, and the governor himself has sort of quasi-apologized for that, saying that they were trying to, take care of the feds before they took care of the state and the public. But it's an indisputable fact that the number was undercounted.
Our governor was denying access, like saying it's political and we're just not going to cooperate.
Yeah, I mean, the governor of New York, Cuomo, said the exact same thing, that this was a Trump administration kind of fishing expedition, that they were just trying to damage, himself and Whitmer there and other Democratic governors, which, depending on your viewpoint, might be true. But it's still, in the case of New York, it still resulted in the data being hid basically from lawmakers and by extension the public.
Why does it matter, dude? I mean, Cuomo came out, put his foot in his mouth. There's some truth to it. What does it matter when and where they died? Why does it matter that we have a true accounting of the nursing homes?
Well, it's a question of not only, the public paying everyone's salaries and deserving good public information as a result, but also from a, informed an informed decision about your loved ones. If they're saying 8,500 people died in nursing homes, obviously that's terrible. But if they're saying 15,000 people died in nursing homes, that's even worse. So it could conceivably affect the way that you make a decision about whether or not you want your parents or your grandparents to enter those homes, if those homes are safe. And that's what it's all about. This is all about life and death.
And don't you think communally, like as a people and a republic, that we could have made some other decisions about where we want to focus our attention and our resources?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it would have anything that would have given a clear picture as to the risk and danger inside of those homes was useful information, as all information in this crisis has been.
Jesse, how pissed are the actual public? Do they understand it? And how pissed are members of his Democratic Party that he was kind of bullying behind the scenes?
I think pretty angry. I mean, they are moving to strip him of powers in the Senate, which is the upper chamber here. The Assembly seems to be a little bit more on the fence about it. But, his dressing down a lawmaker in public on Wednesday, 2 days ago, was not well received. Other Democrats are upset about this. They feel it was inappropriate. And Ron Kim, the assemblyman in question, went on The View, a couple hours ago and said, look, he's an abuser. And that sort of language is there were people that agreed with that sort of language that, in a day and age in which we are reckoning as to the way we deal with each other, personally, politically, socially, that to call up and scream at someone like that who is an elected lawmaker is not appropriate.
And I want to just move it to another direction, which is you were no softball through this whole year. Really, really good, really solid work. Do you think the press corps, the media, has some blame at its feet here in terms of the fawning coverage, the Cuomo brothers yucking it up? You know what I mean? Did he won a fucking Emmy, for God's sakes, for these press conferences?
Well, I think that I'll defend the press because I think the press has been tough on Cuomo and tough on a lot of people. I do certainly think that the governor got good reviews from a lot of quarters, and that gave him a lot of confidence to go on his brother's program and have a moment there. But, look, in all things coronavirus, there are going to be critiques and justifiable critiques of all of us, of the media, of politicians, of residents, of nursing homes, of, Ted Cruz flying off to Cancun. I mean, there are going to be critiques, plenty of critiques to go around. But I think at the heart of the matter, what you're talking about with Governor Cuomo is a question of credibility and whether or not he's been telling people the truth. And I think that's where this crisis has come from.
But what does this do for his credibility going forward? So now he's coming back and saying, okay, well, we didn't tell you everything up front. We didn't tell you the truth. What does this do for his character, his integrity, and his believability from here on out?
Well, I think he's trying to salvage it as we speak on my laptop, not 5 feet away. He's working to try to make it seem as though he has been telling the truth, and that that he is to still be believed, and that these decisions he made regarding withholding data were justifiable in the moment in the fog of war. But once again, I don't get the sense that that explanation is necessarily being bought by the general public. But on the other hand, we haven't seen polling on it, blah blah blah. But just the general sense that I get is that has not yet done the trick.
Give me a quick answer here. Does the state health Department of Health, issue backdated deaths like weekly or bi-weekly?
That's a great question. I think they have been trying to update data, with presumed deaths and things like that. But, that is a good question that I don't have a good answer for. I think that they have been trying to update their data. And look, there is in the Department of Health Defense, a lot of this data was shoddy. It was incomplete. It was coming in wrongly formatted. It was coming in from 600 homes in the state of New York. It's a lot of work. I get it, but at the end of the day, the job of government is to do that work, and to give us the data and give us the truth and the facts so that we can make decisions. Charlie, I love you to death. I got to jump because the governor's back on.
Okay, one more real quick. Listen,
Yep.
Our governor followed the exact playbook. Our press corps is pretty soft. Can you at least embed it somewhere in your soul to take a look or think about the same thing going on in Michigan, but we don't have any attention?
Anytime I can get to Detroit, I will. Let me just end it on that. Anytime.
Call me later.
But I got to sleep on your couch, Charlie. That's the deal.
Next to the dog.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye. Wow. Jesse McKinley, Bureau Chief, New York Times.
It's amazing.
So, Charlie, do people like Cuomo and Ted Cruz just get off because they say they made poor decisions? Is that okay? And does that become okay because people, whether it's your sister-in-law or other voters, like them, and it becomes, all right, we'll forgive them?
It seems to be the case in this country, right? Mulligan.
But stop treating us like we're just idiots. Nobody believes Ted Cruz was just accompanying his kids down there and coming right back. And to believe that this was okay because of the fog of war is absolutely ludicrous. Because if you thought it was okay, you're not going to dress down a fellow politician live on TV or behind the scenes. It's just, the public is not dumb.
No.
And I think it also goes both in Michigan and New York. people need to realize these are machine towns. I mean,
Yes.
with this in the news with Cuomo, more stuff is coming out. More people are coming out of the woodwork explaining how he's threatened them. He's threatened them politically. He's bullied them. Same thing goes on in Michigan and many other states because Karen mentioned we're so void of public servants. These people are trying to move up the political ladder so they won't come out, or they're deathly afraid to come out against Cuomo or Whitmer in this case. So Cuomo is
the homecoming float.
Political boss.
It's high school. It's the homecoming float. I'm trying to get up to the higher tiers. I want to wear the tiara. Man, what about us? I'm not afraid. You're not afraid. Jordan, you worked at NBC, MSNBC, Fox, I think, the Young Turks. Now you're doing your own because we both see it.
Oh, I got the hell out of there exactly because of this.
Like, you know, like in 10 years, like you'd be a big wig at 60 Minutes or something if you wanted, but it's not going to get us there. Don't hate us. We're trying. And let me say about Ted Cruz. Basically, here's what happened if you didn't hear. The power grid went down in Texas because it got cold and they didn't invest in the infrastructure. So Ted, the leader, gets on an airplane with his family to go to Cancun to ride it out. I don't blame him for being able to afford that. Send your girls. I'd be proud if I could send my girls and say, darlings, go have fun. Daddy's got work to do. He's got people to help. Mm-hmm. But you're lying and saying I was just chaperoning. You're hiding behind a girl. And then
Charlie, this to me was a prime example of the disconnect that so many people that are holding elected positions have with the very people that they represent. When you hear arguments about whether $600 is too much money to give to people to help them over, and the people that are representing people have no idea how the average American lives and how so many Americans struggle. You're right. Ted Cruz shouldn't be penalized for being able to afford for his family to get up and go anywhere. That's not the issue. The issue is that he went with them. That's the problem.
And then lied.
That is a major problem.
And then lied. Text messages come out that, you know, they were planning a long boozy weekend. Mm-hmm. That's what he was. Now, here's where it's news. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit story. Why does it get as much attention, as much on CNN today, as Cuomo? They're not even comparable.
No.
But here's what I do know. I cover Texas a lot. I covered this country a lot. California, New York, Michigan. So what was it about? I don't know. I haven't been reading on Ted Cruz. Didn't the power went out in Texas like this about a decade ago?
Yeah.
Got cold and it went down.
Recommendations in 2011 that they need
2011 was it?
Yeah.
Be prepared to winterize, your windmills, your gas, your natural gas, all the stuff. Just keep everything going.
Basically
Winterize them.
take your pipelines and wrap it in.
Invest in infrastructure.
Right.
Period.
Okay. So Texas power goes down. PG&E, Pacific Gas Electric in California,
Great comparison.
goes bankrupt. Man, there's wildfires every year because they don't maintain the grid. Power lines fall down. Trees in the power lines. They light forests on fire. In Michigan, we've been doing DTE. You fart and the power goes out. Mm-hmm. What do they have in common? They're all for-profit utilities, right?
Yeah.
As are the nursing homes. So they don't put money into the infrastructure. They put it into shareholders' pockets. So am I a socialist? No. Am I a crony capitalist? No. The government is there to regulate some things. Healthcare, roads, the utilities. If you think just turning it over to Wall Street is the answer, you're nuts, right? But to nationalize everything, you're nuts. We're just greedy fucking people. And we have the power, and we're all picking sides and not really getting what's what.
Well, they also put the money in the politicians' pockets. In Cuomo's case, these nursing home executives that he gave a corporate liability shield are some of his biggest donors. You look at Gavin Newsom in California, same deal with these fossil fuel companies. Texas, every politician is owned by the fossil fuel companies. So, I mean, their public service seems to be to the corporations, not the people.
Yep. Now, see, that's really well put. It's long-haired, but that's how you talk.
Yeah.
I know how I live. Folks, I'm not dogging on Detroit or Michigan or the United States. We can just do better. I got to live in this. I can't believe it. The roads were better in Iraq in a war than they are in Michigan.
It's about time we fix these damn roads.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
We voted for
it. Wait till the snow thaws. We got a whole nother issue that lies ahead of us like we do every spring.
And let's not forget first of all, the Republicans sit on their ass and don't want to fund the roads. They won't come up with something. Whitmer takes the easy way out and says, hey, 50 cents a gallon. Imagine if your gas was 50 cents a gallon higher right now. You're fucked.
The American way seems to be, let's just wait until something happens before we worry about it.
Yeah, and you know what you should...
We had a big blackout in 2003. Has anything been fixed, or are we just waiting for the next one to happen, and then everyone's going to be appalled?
Google this one. Google it, folks, and then don't just take the first thing you see. Follow the footnotes. Get into the studies, right? Who's got the most unreliable power grid in America?
Oh, jeez.
Whose is it?
I'm going to guess, after the last Google instruction you gave us, is we're going to be pretty low on that list.
We're going to be high. Ours is like one of the least reliable.
That's what I mean, yeah.
The lights go out so much. Fix the shit.
We see it around here all the time.
You know what else you do not wait for? You do not wait for the future to arrive, and you've not thought of a retirement plan. You don't just wait, cross your fingers, and hope so.
That was smooth.
Wasn't it?
That was very smooth.
It's so true. Luke Nowacki. Pinnacle Wealth Management, 248-663-4748. Man, grow your assets. Grow them now. Start growing them now. They get big and fat in the future, and then they're growing more. Get it? That's how it works. Annuities, retirement accounts, college saving plans, stocks and bonds. I had a long talk with Luke. Dude, should I get some gold?
Gold?
I don't understand. I don't deal in gold. It's a hedge.
Yeah.
The government's printing money. People can't pay it back. If we come back from COVID and the economy picks up, inflation picks up. Should you be holding cash? Luke and I talked long about it.
Should you invest in these public utilities that you can trade? They seem to be doing fine.
Right.
Until something happens.
This is what you got, folks. I'm telling you. Do it now, or forever hold your peace, and don't come looking to raid my 401k.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a pension. And if you're getting a pension, just talk to Detroit retirees.
Yeah, Jesus.
If you're counting on that, get smart. Call Luke, 248-663-4748. Hit it.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Royal Alliance Associates Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associates Inc.
And if you're looking for money to invest, if you need money and you can't find it, why don't you call David Hall Mortgage? See if you can refinance that mortgage. I have to call him today. I'm currently in the process. It's been very simple to refinance with David Hall Mortgage, and he... big supporter. All these shows on the Red Shovel Network. Rates currently in the twos. Call today. Find out how much a refinance can save you every month. You can click on the link on the website, davidhallmortgage.com, or simply call them 248-308-5000. That's 248-308-5000. Make sure you tell them the No Bullshit News Hour sent you. And if you don't believe us, just go check out over, 2,500 5-star reviews.
Process was... Wait, every time I try to read one, somebody's moving the goddamn 5-star... Stop and stop. This one's from Priscilla. Process was easy from start to finish. Everything was explained to me along the way. I felt like I had that personal touch instead of feeling like I was next in an assembly line from the bigger mortgage company. Thank you, Hall Finance.
I will second that. The personal touch is wonderful.
Okay.
There you go.
And after all these months, you're finally doing what I asked you to do.
I know.
Call Hall.
Everyone should.
We use them. You should too.
You'll be surprised, honestly, the money you can save.
Okay, now let's go like this. Where are we at in the show here? I don't want to drag for an hour now.
47.
Okay. All right, Jordan, here we go. Quick strokes here, brother. New York, the nursing homes, the whole thing begins because the Attorney General of New York, what is her name? Letitia? James. Has the balls, listens to the people, does her work, lights a fire. Our Attorney General will not open an investigation that we should all be demanding. Dana Nessel is busy. She's busy fucking up Flint. Am I right or wrong?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead and give us the broad strokes. What's the headline here? First of all, he's been working his ass off. A new big story's coming out in The Intercept soon. This guy's got more fingers in the pot, more documents, more sources than anybody that's even looked at this story. Setting it up, what's the headline?
Attorney General Dana Nessel, who claims she's not involved in the investigation of the Flint water crisis, charges Governor Snyder with, according to Flint residents, a parking ticket for poisoning an entire community. Obviously, weeks ago, the governor is charged with a misdemeanor. My reporting indicates he did significantly more than neglect the Flint water crisis. He was actively involved in covering it up with his top officials. Nessel's predecessor, Attorney General Schuette, his investigation, which had a special prosecutor, found suspicious phone calls that Snyder was in on, a briefing that Snyder received, alerting him of the deadly Legionella outbreak that he testified to Congress he didn't know about till January 2016. The briefing was from October 2014. A whole lot of other things my reporting indicates Snyder not only knew about the deadly water outbreak, knew actively how bad things were in Flint, but he worked to cover it up. Nessel and her team have all this information, yet they only charged him with a misdemeanor.
They blew it.
Yeah.
They blew
Big
it.
time.
Okay. You were telling me, we were talking, was there destruction of evidence during the Snyder administration?
I'm working on a follow-up on that, but my reporting indicates there was destruction of evidence, hiding of evidence, and an open question as to whether the governor himself was involved in it and knew about it. But his right-hand man, Richard Baird, who, interestingly enough, was just charged with extortion, obstruction of justice, perjury, misconduct in office. That's the governor's consigliere, his top advisor. He was charged with all these things, but the governor apparently wasn't aware of what his top advisor was doing and was only charged with a misdemeanor. And, I'd like some Michigan reporter maybe ask the attorney general, how is this guy charged with everything in the kitchens under the kitchen sink, but the governor was only charged with a misdemeanor? How does that square?
I will role play with you because we don't have the evidence that it got up to Snyder, and we're hoping Baird's going to flip. How's that for an answer? That's what I would say.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I would say you need to improve your investigative skills, because if Baird was going to flip, would have happened already. I would estimate that charging Baird with all of these things, you're talking multiple felonies. He'd be in prison the rest of his life if he's convicted. If he hasn't flipped by now, I think you're going to have a tough time flipping him. Who knows? Maybe they're smarter than we are, Charlie. But the point is, my reporting indicates, had his one investigation under a previous attorney general, and I'm no Schuette fanboy, but previous attorney general, my reporting, you've independently confirmed this, they were going after Snyder for involuntary manslaughter before they were canned.
That's a fact.
By Nessel.
It's a fact.
Involuntary manslaughter. They weren't ready to charge, but that's what they were building towards. They saw evidence of misconduct in office, this misdemeanor, neglect of duty, and enough to go upwards towards involuntary manslaughter. How does one set of investigators, we're talking former FBI, we're talking retired judges, Wayne County prosecutors, how do they have enough evidence for that? But the Democratic Attorney General, who again says she's not involved, so benefit of the doubt, her team, her Solicitor General, Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, they say we only have evidence to charge him with a misdemeanor, but we're still investigating. The whole thing, if you're a Flint resident, which I'm not, you got to start to wonder, where is justice here? Does a powerful, are the rules change because it's the governor, a powerful figure, right, a wealthy figure? Because I got news for you. If that was a corporate CEO and his whole team, his top advisors, whatever the roles are, were covering evidence up, destroying evidence, hiding evidence, the corporate CEO wouldn't get away with that. Ignorance. Nobody told me.
Well, to that point, Jordan, then is there a sense that Nessel just wants this to go away and just be done and say, hey, we charged him with something, we got him with something, everyone can forget about this really poor city now and we'll move on with our lives? Because it really seems like she's just wants to be done with it.
You know, I don't want to get too in the weeds, but the top line here, and Charlie's done great reporting on this, there's a really, really shady financial deal that led to the Flint water crisis. Just in a nutshell, think about a scam. A scam financial deal for a totally unnecessary water pipeline, the KWA pipeline, is why Flint was even on the Flint River. And conspicuously missing from some of the charges she filed, she charged, in addition to Snyder, former Flint emergency managers Darnell Early and Gerald Ambrose. The previous investigation charged them with conspiracy and basically participating in bond fraud related to that pipeline.
False pretense.
Nestle charged them, recharged them, nothing about that. So to me, the real driving force here is they want to do surface level charges against the governor to act like they're doing something. But the real source of this, that financial fraud, the KWA bond deal, which, by the way, if that goes to court, the KWA bond deal, you're talking the state of Michigan could be in hundreds of millions of dollars of liability because the state of Michigan approved that allegedly fraudulent bond deal.
Which is why Detroit water payers are now paying for that bond indirectly. That's the move.
What happened to the guy that put that bond together?
He's the budget director for Whitmer.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you want to talk about failing upward, Charlie. I mean, the Flint water crisis, you got David Masseron, who was one of the driving forces behind this fraudulent bond deal that used Flint residents as a guinea pig. He's now, I think, the budget director for Governor Whitmer.
Yes.
The follow-up story I'm working on, a top official, I don't want to give too much away, allegedly instructed state employees to hide evidence. He's now the director of a department. It's really outrageous. And I would say, because the attorney general, her team seem to have an allergy to speaking with reporters that challenge them.
Right.
I would ask, hey, can you just explain, because it's a secret grand jury process, how is it that one investigation that preceded you saw the most severe crimes here, involuntary manslaughter, but you're charging a misdemeanor? Tell us about that discrepancy. Did the previous investigation mess up, or are you spineless? What's going on here?
Two more quick ones, and we'll go to red. One, the communications director for Attorney General Nestle, right? Kelly Rossman McKinney, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was her role in Flint?
So this is a scandal, but in a nutshell, she was actively involved in PR, damage control, communications for Governor Snyder, his chief of staff, his whole administration. It was depicted as, oh, she just picked up the phone when they called. My reporting and documents I have indicate that was not the case. She was in the trenches with them, helping to cover this up as early as 2014 and 2015, the core years that this crisis began. She was doing spin for them, damage control, potentially targeting the previous investigation with, fake websites to try and criticize them. And now she's her top communications director. My reporting also indicates, Charlie, there was a meeting at the end of October 2014, critical meeting in Flint City Hall between the environmental department director and Flint city officials, the Legionella outbreak that Snyder claimed. I didn't know anything about it.
Let me say the first whiff of Legionnaires is October of 2014, not 16 like the governor's saying when he found out. And there's a meeting. And who's in the meeting? You
got former MDEQ director Dan Wyant, Darnell Early, who was the emergency manager at that time, several environmental officials, Howard Croft, Flint Public Works director, several people from the Flint Water plant, and Kelly Rossman McKinney, the communications director for the AG. She was copied on an email about that meeting 2 days later. Darnell Early, the emergency manager, sent the environmental director a thank you for coming to Flint, copied a series of people who were in that meeting. She's copied on it. So I reached out to the attorney, Kelly Rossman McKinney, saying, hey, yes or no, were you in this meeting? Simple enough to tell me.
Simple enough. You reached out, asked for a comment, and what'd she say?
Oh, she didn't respond. I got a different department responded to me saying that, as you know, this is an ongoing criminal investigation, so Ms. McKinney can't respond. I have other sourcing that indicates there was a PR person in the meeting. I spoke with the Flint PR person at the time, Jason Lorenz. He says, I wasn't in that meeting. Who was the PR person in that meeting?
Just answer the question. Were you there or not? We reached out and we got nothing. So you're involved. How much were you involved? Simple. Real simple. Simple, Flint. Simple.
And if you were involved, why the hell are you in the Attorney General's ear, who is presiding over this investigation?
Whether you were in the meeting or not. How does anybody working? Flint, you fucked. Because the case is falling apart. Because now all the defendants want the discovery, they want the exhibits, they want the notes from the one-man grand jury, the judge who lives in Flint. And then the new federal judge is saying, well, I'm going to need till the end of June to go through this. End of June. Look, I told you, next week's news today, it's going to drag on forever. It's going to drag on beyond the next election cycle, where you can parade around and say the Attorney General saying, I'm doing a bunch of stuff, but the fucking case is falling apart. That's what I think.
And you asked the New York Times reporter, what do you say about the media culpability here? Listen, you say enough about the Michigan media, but I'll tell you, I met with the Detroit Free Press about this story. Ooh. They passed. Ooh. Detroit News won't touch it. Ooh. Flint Journal, laughable. I mean, the Michigan media, they just take whatever Nessel tells them and reprints it. They did the same thing with Governor Snyder. Where are the media? Where are the journalists in Michigan to ask, why did you clean house? What's the real reason you cleaned house of this previous investigation?
So you got to go to The Intercept. It's the big investigative website now, where like all of us that used to do it, that's where we go and make a fucking nickel, but we do it because we got love for you. It's New York. New York's got to do the work. New York's got to do our fucking work.
Apparently. I literally met in a parking lot with an editor from the Detroit Free Press. I literally handed him the story that I did for The Intercept a few weeks ago with the evidence. He says to me, yeah, this is kind of circumstantial. I said, we're not fucking criminal prosecutors. We don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm handing you phone calls that the governor was on with his chief of staff, with the health director. They were scrambling for 2 days. Not me, the investigators concluded they were scrambling to cover up the ongoing Legionella outbreak that PBS reports might have killed hundreds of people.
Yeah, and we aired interview tapes with the head of Public Works saying it was all a money game.
Yep.
I mean, come on. All right.
What evidence were they showing this one-man grand jury? I'd love to know, because I don't know how a judge who was the one-man grand jury would only charge the governor with a misdemeanor if he was provided with the phone calls, a briefing that I found. By the way, this next story that I'm working on, I mean, you got destruction of evidence, hiding of evidence, burning of certain things. I mean, it's like a crime novel. It's unbelievable. And I would say to the people of Flint, this isn't a Democrat or a Republican thing. Of course, Snyder is a Republican. Nessel, Attorney General Nessel is a Democrat. But at the end of the day, both sides are screwing you. And it's really, I don't know if this is incompetence or something worse, but
to be determined. When is your piece coming out in The Intercept?
We're shooting for next week.
Okay, next week we'll let everybody know. Jordan Chariton, founder of Status Coup. You find him on YouTube. Just plug in Status Coup. It's independent. It's nationwide. And it's growing like a motherfucker. And kind of like...
It's good work.
Teammates. We're kind of umbilical to each other. You know what I mean? I'm a different guy than he is, but we just trying to get to the truth. Thanks, whether you want to stay. And we got Detroit Red live from the serial killer house on the east side, doing a little bit of the street beat. You know, I mean, we like to take it from New York to Brooklyn to Lansing to the streets. So I don't know if Red's out there or if he's been mugged. What's going on? Red, you alive?
Probably frozen.
I was just going to say that, Karen.
Yeah, he's...
no, I ain't froze yet. I don't know if y'all can see me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. So
okay, well, the video,
your camera froze.
I don't know who got the video. Oh, there we go. Start my goddamn video. I mean, I've been out here freezing long enough. So I'm over here on the east side of Detroit, Mac and Mount Elliott, in front of the serial killer house. I don't know if y'all can see that back there behind me. I'm right here in front of it. I can't even get up to the porch because they done started burning this son of a bitch. And no, I look like a piece of the Heidelberg Project, but this actually is the serial killer house.
No, Red, that's not the serial killer house. Look to your right. Turn the look to your right. Go down. Keep turning it. Go down to that house. Look,
which one? Hold on.
See the yellow one?
I'm at the wrong house. Well, so many goddamn abandoned, vacant houses over here.
Exactly.
With no address. Let me see.
I've made that mistake. I've made that mistake because that house caught on fire about a month later. Keep going. Go down by the gas station. And don't slip on the unshoveled walk.
Explain.
I'm in the parking lane right now. I'm risking getting hit by one of our unlicensed Detroit drivers.
Explain the serial killer house for those that don't know.
It was back in June of 19. A woman escaped with her life. A guy pulled her in there, tried to rape her, stab her. They go back and find a woman's body. They get the guy. They start connecting DNA. There's another house where another woman was found. We helped find her there.
Yep.
And this serial killer house is owned by the city. And it hadn't been demolished. And
you seen that? You would think that would be a high priority house if the city owns it to get rid of it.
Well,
if for nothing other than the symbolism of it.
This is the funny part about this house here. As you see,
yep, exactly.
They got it boarded up. In the back there, it says "Love You" in spray paint on the boards. What I'm trying to figure out is how did we pay all this money to demolition houses, but yet we can't get rid of this goddamn house?
Yep.
Which is associated with women getting killed. So I've come to find out here in the Detroit area, the reason crime probably is so high is, well, the prosecutor said it couldn't be towed down because they were gathering evidence. That was over 2 years ago. What evidence are you trying to gather? Which leads me to believe the reason we can't get no murder solved in here is because it takes 2 years to gather evidence from a crime scene.
Plus, people shoot up in that thing and everything. Yeah. I mean, that thing was open for months. See, but the city, as I'm told, they had the ability for more than a year to tear it down and didn't. And then after we shamed them, they finally went. And prosecutors are like, you might as well just leave it up. What are you looking at there, Red?
We're going to take this walk and follow the tracks. These are the only tracks. Can you see the tracks in the snow here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, these are the only tracks on the entire street of Mount Elliott.
Wow.
On this side of the street. And you can see it's right next to the house. The city's been back out here and boarded it up. So we do know they know how to use boards. Thank God, because they don't know how to use asphalt to clean up and cover
Watch out from around that corner, because one time I saw a guy shitting and another time a dog came out.
Which was worse?
It does look like it's plenty tracks back here. Oh, yeah, they've been back here.
Be careful, Red.
Oh, look here. If I disappear, at least you know where the hell I'm at. At the infamous serial killer house that's been over 2 years getting broke down.
It looks like they missed a few windows.
Garage.
Oh, boy.
Yep, that's the junkie garage.
Now, this is the funny part. They got more trash dumpsters in this garage than I do in my whole block. I might have to come back over here at night and help them get rid of that.
Yeah.
So, Red, let me ask you. Look, I want help me here, right? Look, I put this on Facebook the other day. A guy named DeJuan Knighton was arrested last Thursday night in Detroit, right? Yeah. For the mutilation of Kayla Pierce. She's from Livingston County. Now, they arrested him, and they found her dismembered body tossed in the backyard. Right? He was charged with concealing her death and tampering with evidence and dismembering a body. Right? They're waiting for an autopsy to see if it was murder, but they got to let the parts thaw out.
Jeez.
Long story short, $5,000 bond.
What?
$5,000.
$5,000? I mean, at the very least, there was a dismembered body on his property.
Right.
But remember, that's 10%. That may not necessarily be 5,000 cash. That may be 10%.
No, it was 50,000 at 10%, so it's $5,000.
Yeah.
He needs $5,000. Now my thing is, go ahead,
This
Red.
is my whole thing. You get $5,000 for a DUI. I know people with gun charges that's got a higher bond than this guy who went and apparently thought somewhere it was a good idea to dismember an entire human being. Okay, this don't even make sense.
People go, maybe he panicked. I'm like, for 12 hours where he's sawing a body apart.
No, you don't know.
Come on. So look, I'm getting this, bro. I'm getting the, man, hey, look at you shitting on Detroit. You're so negative, man. I don't like you anymore. And I'm thinking, well, you know, what if he made $5,000 and moved in next to you? What if that was your daughter?
No. Hell no. I don't want, listen, if you got a mindset to dismember an entire body, a human body, we ain't talking about a deer, a pig, a cow. We're talking about a human being. Your crazy ass need to be locked up. You can't live next to me. I got enough things to worry about whether or not you going to panic and trip and come over and just cut me up one day and throw me out in the backyard.
I can't believe he was offered bond at all.
That's what I'm saying. But see, that's all that Corona COVID service. You can pretty much get away with dismemberment now and be back out of jail because they scared you're going to die from COVID.
How about that's all in the news. Here's one in Detroit, like a guy who's got a record for, heroin possession and firearms, like gets the COVID release, shoots his girlfriend and her mom. A rapist is let out of the county jail who goes on to rape 3 more women by knife point. In Philadelphia, we're not alone. In Philly, a guy, is a habitual robber and stuff like that, right? He's robbery, B&E. They caught him driving around with the body parts in his fucking truck.
Oh, God.
They let him out on the COVID. So I'm like this. Yeah, talking to the prosecutors and stuff, there's that whole bail reform movement, right? No cash bail. I'm like this. If you're a drunk driver, you shouldn't be doing no 90 days because you don't got the money. You're a deadbeat dad. What's he doing in there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got traffic tickets. You're driving on no plates. Come on. You got crack on you. Bullshit. But you're supposed to be fucking incarcerated when you're hacking people up, raping people, pointing guns at people. This is a problem.
A big problem. And to the individual that said that you're shitting on Detroit, I want to personally tell that individual, I live in Detroit. This house is less than a mile from my home. Okay? It ain't Charlie that's shitting on Detroit. It's Detroit shitting on Detroit. Because we pay enough money for this crap to be taken care of. Now, I understand it's all kind of issues and problems, but this was where somebody committed a heinous crime and a murder. I wouldn't care if the city owned it, the land bank owned it, out of damn near $200 million to tear houses down and throw them in fucking holes. You missed this one? It's right here, across from a big abandoned church where they bust up drug addicts and folks that get drunk and hang out every day. How do you miss this? There's still people here going back and forth using the property back there. You see the tracks going straight to the garage. So tell them what's going back there. The little girl could be walking up the street and get snatched back there. God. I wouldn't even come over here at night.
The school children get dropped off just up the way where you were standing earlier, and they get on the bus at that bus stop right across from where you're standing right now.
Yep.
Children.
Yes. So the police been by 4 or 5 times. They see me. They don't give a damn. They just keep on rolling. They ain't stopped to see what's going on. Why am I sitting in front of a row of abandoned houses for an hour and a half? It's pretty much like the potholes. Just keep riding over and pretty much they might disappear.
Well, I don't expect the police to be stopping people and asking them what to do. None of their business if you're not doing anything. So that's...
When you're in front of a serial killer house, though, wouldn't you think they'd want to know?
Well, maybe if they may, because, you look a little shady.
I got one for the prosecutor. You're collecting evidence, right? Where's it taped off at? Who's coming in here collecting evidence?
They're not. They're just full of more shit.
Well, if the city would have got on in the first place, we wouldn't be in this no man's land. Look here. Here's the thing. I'm not woke, folks. I'm not woke. Don't like that. I'm awoken. That's the difference. No fear, no favor. We're going to hold the decrepit government responsible for taking care of these things we hire him to do. This is no put down. This is me trying to give you some love. Like, Guy called me up, couldn't get his car back. I don't know, he got my number. It was yesterday. Called me up, said he'd get ripped off by the tow company. Fuck, what am I going to do with this guy? I said, I'll make one call only. Got the rational explanation. He'll get his car out tomorrow. I'll do what I could do. But this is not hating. This is not hating. This is the job.
But Charlie, I'm gonna chime in on Red's side. I live in Detroit. I'm not going to approve of, contribute to, or participate in anything that tears down the city. But like Red said, city is tearing itself down. Just because this reality goes against the narrative doesn't mean that it does not deserve to be told. This is the Detroit that a lot of people don't want you to see, but this is a reality that people navigate, live in, and try to avoid or somehow succumb to every day. It did not go away.
And let me put it like this. The woman's all bent out of shape. I'm writing about what the fuck? How does a guy dismember a corpse? Yeah. Get a $5,000 bond. Does this happen anywhere else? And it's good I put it out there because it does. It's a national issue.
It doesn't make it okay.
Didn't the dude, I forget his name, just dismember and kill his wife years ago? Steven Peterson, or what is his name?
Oh, that guy from Grosse Pointe Park. What's that? Bob Bashara?
Oh, Bob Bashara.
He didn't dismember her, though, did he?
Dismembered her. They stayed on his ass for like.
You talking about Big Bob? Are you talking about that guy?
Nah, we are throwing shit.
Scott Peterson. That was his name. Scott Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
California.
And he cut his wife up. They stayed on his head first until they found her. Then once he got locked up, there was no bond.
Yeah.
You here, buddy. Even if we ain't proved you murdered her, you definitely cut her the hell up.
Well, make it 50,000.
We in Detroit, I'm supposed to deal with Jeffrey Dahmer staying next door to me and hope he don't have a psychotic breakdown because you gave him a cheap ass
Or
bar.
if he's hungry, yeah.
And to be fair, because look, I tell you what, I got a sister. She got in a car with a dude. My sister turned tricks. She wanted out of the car. The guy wouldn't let her out of the car. He doing 80. The brakes fail. She don't want to be in. She's abducted. She jumps out of the car and into a tree, and she's gone. This guy plows through somebody's garage. He runs off to Florida. Nothing. Nobody going to look for him. Nothing. My mom's out in Brightmoor during a winter like this trying to get some justice. Can the guy know what he did? She didn't want him to go away for life. Want him to sit in the cooler and think about what he did. He got 18 months. But she wouldn't quit.
She shouldn't have to.
She wouldn't quit. And so that's in me. I'm not shitting on shit. Justice. Law and order. Something for the kids.
Kim Worthy, if you can waste all them taxpayer dollars to chase down Kwame, right or wrong, you can make sure that a guy that's around here dismembering folks and probably responsible for a few other things we don't know about yet can sit in jail until we find out if he committed a murder. It's bottom line. It just makes no sense. If the police can catch him, you can sure in the hell hold him.
Apples and oranges, man. She got a job to do. Like, you spend the money if you got a corrupt politician. Period. Mm-hmm. I'm for that. But
you can do all of it.
Again, if the city doesn't let this thing sit so long, maybe I can understand now, like, hey, might as well just leave it till, we go to trial. Might as well. You've been letting it sit for fucking years. The city owns that house.
Yeah.
They own the house and no excuse. None.
So does that fall under proposal N for neighborhoods? Another $250 million?
With the funny contract?
Should be going in that $250 million. Definitely.
Well, Detroit's capital city.
Around the corner, there's a mini house. The tiny house craze?
Oh, yeah.
Right around the corner, there's a spanking brand new mini house. And I wonder if the lady would have put her mini house there if she knew right around the corner from her was a serial killer house.
doesn't do much for the comps in the
property value. Yeah,
it does though, Red. But that's another conversation because people keep saying, who are they renting out and selling all of these high, overpriced places? Because there is a demographic that's intrigued by the quote unquote hood. They want a touch of the inner city and, the environment that they've read about. They want to be brave and come to Detroit. Oh. So that's another conversation. But yeah, that's another conversation.
Here's the deal.
They gotta be brave. We can take the dude, dismember people, take him out there and drop him off in the middle of Bloomfield Hill. Let him dismember a couple of people in the house and see how long that house stay up there.
You're right.
Man, you know what?
You're
That's like what is that? Uber Eats, right? We can give you some Uber D. We just drop off some serial killers and you name hack artists and have them for a balloon party and stuff, and then send him on his way.
I guess bond will be a little higher then.
Oh,
you want to turn to the neighborhood? Let me come dig up some of the street in front of your house. So a pothole is so big, a small Asian family can live in it, and then see how you like that. I can come to your house and bring you a touch of Detroit. You ain't got to move down here.
If there's one thing I know about Red, nothing pisses him off more than potholes.
You notice that?
It always comes up, man.
Listen, I didn't even drive over here. I hit the pothole at the end of my block and landed over here.
You know what's funny about where this serial killer house is? It's a block, 2 blocks from the Heidelberg Project.
Oh, yeah.
The big art installation, which basically took a abandoned neighborhood and made it into a piece of art. And as you can see in the background, this thing's becoming Heidelberg Heights. So if you're going to go to the Heidelberg Project, just go to the corner of Mack and Mount Elliott and get a look at the serial killer house. It's a landmark now.
Jesus.
You'll know it because it has the "Love You" spray painted on the boards that's covering up the window.
So, Red, why don't you come up with a hashtag? Because now what you're going to do is have all the hipsters going to take selfies in front of the picture and post it on social media. So what hashtag do they use?
Stay the hell out. That's the hashtag they should use. Or hashtag. Hell, I don't even know what the hashtag is.
All right, here's the
hell you had.
Here's the hashtag, brother. Here's the hashtag. Get in the car, get warm, get over here. Let's get the beer.
Damn true.
See you in a minute.
Around and disappear in the serial killer house. I'm getting looks now.
Get out of there.
Like I'm one of the gentrifiers.
Yeah, they're like, what's this white dude doing here?
Practice ain't showing enough over here on Mac.
That's white dude.
Well, you are wearing a hat like my mom wears. I mean, it is an Avon hat. Love you, dude.
Love you too.
See you in a minute.
Be careful, Red.
Remember, people.
I'm about to be running to the car. Here we go. I'm running to the car.
Don't slip. They didn't shovel to walk.
And he gets through the city.
Oh, he's in the street.
If I hurt myself, I sure the hell can't sue this broke-ass city.
All right, folks, that's the show program. Thank you, Jesse McKinley, New York Times, Jordan Chariton, Status Coup. As always, comedian, Detroit Red. This generation's Dick Gregory. Remember, you deserve more. Ask for it. Demand it. Try to love one another. See you, Karen.
See you guys.
Mark, Mannequin Joe, next week.
There's a red house over yonder.